Humanity's greed and overconsumption has created the biggest threat to life as we know it. But some, if not most, of the damage we've caused through the burning of fossil fuels is reversible. Through carbon capture, we can take CO2 out of the atmosphere and store it back in the Earth. A variety of powerful ecosystems that we have damaged hold the key. Protecting these environments, combined with technological advancements, are vital in redirecting humanity's course away from total disaster. But real decisions and actions are needed now. The future of our planet is in our hands. Choose wisely. Extreme E has brought together some of motorsport's biggest names to create a championship like no other. And as we approach the end of an electrifying inaugural season, another legendary motorsport marque is preparing to enter the series in 2022. Back in June, McLaren confirmed they would be joining the series for its second season, and decided to give the world its first glance of their car during the important COP26 climate summit that recently took place in Scotland. As well as taking a step into the future with their first all-electric car, they are also taking an important step towards gender equality in racing, and announced that Emma Gilmore, who has driven for Veloce Racing twice this year, will be driving for the McLaren team in 2022, making her their first ever female driver. She'll be racing alongside American off-road and drift star Tanner Faust.
I'm so excited to be racing for McLaren Racing, have Tanner as my teammate, to be McLaren Racing's first ever female racing driver. I mean, there's just so many surreal moments at the moment. I really do have to keep pinching myself. The car, I mean, it just looks amazing, and to be racing in papaya orange, you know, again, I never imagined that was going to be happening. So it is just so exciting, and such an exciting series. It really developed itself as it went along the 2021 season, and it's just going to be even better and faster next year.
I'm really excited to get in the machine, the Odyssey 21. I mean, 650 brake horsepower and electric is an awesome thing. I'm really looking forward to working with the engineers in McLaren, working with Emma, but almost more importantly that I'm really excited to learn from the scientists on the boat. I'm a scientist myself with a molecular biology degree, and I think with some of the things that we're going to be discussing and learning about from each different region in Extreme E, I can't wait to soak up that knowledge. I'm really interested to see what's going on the boat and what we can learn.
While at COP26, McLaren CEO Zak Brown showed none other than Prince Charles around the papaya-coloured Odyssey 21 to get his royal seal of approval.
So have you done a lot of motorsport in New Zealand?
I have, yeah, as well as around the
What
world,
crazy stuff have you?
more rallying, so yeah.
Oh, rallying.
Yeah, which is crazy
Yes,
stuff.
exactly.
Yeah.
With more world-class teams signing up for Season 2, the racing is sure to be better than ever. Coming into the penultimate round, Rosberg X Racing had the championship crown in reach. Here's the headlines of the action so far. Round 1, X44 took the top spot in quali, but it was RXR who secured the inaugural win and 35 points. Round 2, X44 again qualified fastest, but RXR made it 2 wins from 2 and secured another 36 points. Round 3, X44 once again won quali, and finally RXR's luck ran out as they crashed out in the final, with Andretti United taking the win. Coming into round 4, RXR led by 9 points from X44. Day 1 in Sardinia saw RXR's Molly Taylor roll the car in Q1 and saw X44 flying once again. RXR clawed it back with a brilliant performance in Q2 and managed to secure P2 overall, just behind X44 in first place, who also took an additional 5 points after winning the Continental Traction Challenge, meaning X44 reduced the championship deficit from 9 points to just 3. Heading into the first semi-final race, X44 and Andretti United's championship fight was hanging in the balance, with both teams needing to advance to the final to keep their title hopes alive. They lined up against the fast yet perpetually misfortunate Chip Ganassi racing team to see who would progress to the 5-car final.
This is the first time we've seen these multiple lanes heading into one. Left-hand side of the grid, Cristina Gutierrez for X44, Sarah Price for Chip Ganassi Racing in the middle. Right-hand side of the grid, closest to us, Timmy Hansen for Andretti United. Drivers in the cars and ready to go. The pressure really is building now. If I had to put money on it, I think Hansen will try to cut across immediately for Andretti United on Segi TV, Chip Ganassi Racing. Is anybody going to use hyperdrive? They're all watching, waiting for that green. Here we go. Oh, brilliant start by Hansen, great reaction time. He's going to try and take that lead off Segi TV. Chip Ganassi Racing immediately gets in, door to door with X44. Maybe a tiny bit of contact, X44 taking. Cristina Gutierrez is off, she's into the trees.
Are you okay? Are you okay?
Radio check, Cristina, radio check. Radio check, Cristina, radio check.
I'm okay.
Where's Hansen? Hansen looks to have gone down the right-hand side. We can't see anything here for the dust.
Are you okay, Timmy? Sarah is still driving. Cristina is stationary. Yes. Need to get that car to the end. Take it easy.
Looks like there's damage to the Andretti United car as well, so they're just going to have to drag this round if they can at all.
Let me know if I can stop or if I have to carry on. Front is...
Okay, and then after waypoint 5, just pull off the road in a safe location.
I think Andretti United are stopped on course, so they've stopped on course as well. So as it stands, Andretti United would go through because they've gone further than X44, but I can guarantee you that's going to the stewards, 100%.
So it's Price and Leduc out in front in the Chip Ganassi car. They thought they had the worst start. The car really dug down, but actually they stayed well clear of that accident and the crash and the contact that they had. Now, they've just got to focus.
You're doing great. Both of the trailing cars are out at this point. So we just need to bring the car home in one piece. You're doing fine.
With 2 cars out of the running, the Chip Ganassi team completed their laps and secured their spot in the final for the first time.
They told us on the radio, like, hey, you got a massive distance, just be safe, keep the car together, and get it to Kyle. And we did exactly that. So, yeah, it's finally in the final, first time ever. Oh, my gosh.
The stewards then had the tough task of deciding who would be taking the second spot in the final.
They are investigating the...
Yeah, he made a mistake.
He
crashed into you. If now he's going to the final and not us, you did perfect. Yeah. He just pushed you and...
I think the car is very broken in the front part, but I don't know.
Look like? Because you hit the
chassis? Rock. Yeah, thank you.
Don't worry, nothing to do with you, not your problem. This is outrageous.
Timmy
Timmy
just...
Yeah.
You can't win championships like this. It's unacceptable driving standards, and I'm sure the organisers will take appropriate action.
We have had an official decision come through. Andretti United have been penalised for that contact in semi-final number 1, and that means X44 will go through.
I was on the right going left, and then Sarah in the Ganassi car was on the left going right. She tapped my rear, I lost the car, and then went into the X44 out of control. Unfortunately put both of us out of the race. Sorry to X44, and yeah, it was not really anyone's fault. It ended badly for us, but it's racing sometimes, I guess.
I feel okay in the beginning, and then I feel some push in my back part of the car, and I lose the car totally because I go like 120 per hour. Yeah, I feel okay, but I have a little bit painful in my high part of the back. I don't know exactly the damage, but I hope the car is not too bad and they can repair.
With Andretti United being penalised for the incident, X44 would have to try and get their Odyssey 21 race ready once again in time for the final, only a few hours later. While in Sardinia, Extreme E scientist Carlos Duarte took a step away from his work to explain why greenhouse gases are so damaging to our environment.
So the atmosphere of any planet is an important element of its climate system because the gases in the atmosphere can absorb heat and therefore maintain certain temperatures. So if you have too much of those gases that are able to absorb heat, which we call greenhouse gases, then the temperatures are extreme, and if you have too little of them, then the temperatures are too low. So planet Earth has been able to develop and maintain life because the gaseous composition maintains temperatures within the range that is compatible with life. So if we increase the amount of those gases in the atmosphere, and carbon dioxide is one particular greenhouse gas, then the temperatures start to move away from those ranges. The consequences of that warming are going to be devastating for our well-being and our economies. That brought the world to come together around this goal of containing the warming of the planet within 1.5 to 2 degrees, which is the basis of the Paris Agreement. And to do that, we need to activate many levers. We need to transition from burning fossil fuels to renewable energy so that we can continue to use energy without impacting on the atmosphere. But we also need to remove carbon dioxide that is already present in excess in the atmosphere. And to do that, then we need to activate one other solution. 38% of the excess greenhouse gases in the atmosphere do not come from use of energy and fossil fuels. It actually comes from destroying ecosystems. It comes from deforestation, it comes from farming, intensive farming, it comes from livestock, it comes from destroying the natural sinks of carbon of the planet. And we've already lost about half of the natural capital of the planet that supports our well-being. So then one option to mitigate climate change is actually rebuild that lost capital. So that comes under a wave of options to mitigate climate change called nature-based solutions. And nature-based solutions are about decarbonizing the atmosphere to recarbonize the biosphere. So when we engage in large-scale afforestation projects, we are recovering forests that we lost, but at the same time, that forest is locking carbon. When we restore ecosystems in our shorelines, like seagrass meadows or mangroves or salt marshes, then we are repairing some of the damage we made, but at the same time, that improvement of the ecosystem locks carbon and generates new carbon sinks that are able to remove carbon that is in excess in the atmosphere. In 2009, I coined the term blue carbon. And blue carbon then refers to the power of healthy marine ecosystems to sequester carbon against green carbon. That will be the same process on land where forests are also able to sequester carbon, but during nearly 20 years, the focus was placed on land and the power of the oceans to help us mitigate climate change was not addressed.
One of the ways Extreme E reduces its carbon footprint is by shipping all of the cars and infrastructure around the world on board its floating paddock, the St. Helena. While docked in Sardinia, we took a tour with one of its residents.
Hi, my name is Izzy. I'm the impact correspondent for Extreme E, living on the St. Helena ship, telling the stories of the people and places that we travel to ravaged by climate change. Since you're here, why don't I come and show you around? Welcome to my home. This is the bridge, what's known as the heart of the ship. Modern technology has replaced old map charts, whereas everything behind me, except the captain, Captain Nick, is original St. Helena. This is hold number 2, the biggest hold of the ship. It transports pretty much everything needed for the race. 32 containers here in the hold and then 36 up on deck. The Odyssey 21 cars lined up here on the perimeter, and everything is loaded and offloaded with our very own cranes. Through here is the Blue Parrot Lounge. It's one of 2 lounges on board the ship. It's where the fun happens. This is where guests and drivers have a place to relax and occasionally work. We have a large open deck, a bar, and then I'll get on at night and get the party started. So that's it, the floating paddock for Extreme, the St. Helena ship, also my home. I hope you enjoyed the tour.
At every race location, Extreme aims to leave a positive legacy on the natural environments that play a role in the fight against global warming.
About half a year ago, Extreme raced in Senegal. And in that race, then we saw how Extreme's legacy program is reforestating mangroves. And that again is a blue carbon option, because those mangroves will then contribute to start locking carbon into the soils and mitigate climate change and protect the shorelines. Now, half a year later, we are in Sardinia, in the Mediterranean. We don't have mangroves in the Mediterranean, but we actually have the world champion of carbon sequestration, which is a seagrass called Posidonia oceanica, which sequesters about 15 tons of carbon dioxide per hectare and year. Pristine Amazonian forest sequesters about 1 ton of carbon dioxide per hectare, which means that 1 hectare of Posidonia meadow is equivalent to 17 hectares of pristine Amazonian forest. When I discuss with local politicians in the Mediterranean about the value of conserving Posidonia meadows, I tell them that you have a rainforest underwater and you're not aware of it. So in Sardinia, Extreme has partnered with METSI, which is a conservation organization that targets Posidonia oceanica, and they are activating many different streams of conservation, and they're also actively planting and also increasing awareness about the importance of conserving Posidonia.
It's estimated that the 30% of the Mediterranean seagrass, the meadows, are in regression. We have a very strong conservation status, but in some places we have damage created by free anchoring or illegal trawling. Also, it's very important for life in the Mediterranean Sea because it's a house for many species of fishes.
So today we are here at the Legacy Project and we're learning about seagrass and healthy and damaged seagrass and what we can do to help it.
It's really cool to be a part of these legacy programs. We hear about them, but actually to be on the ground I think is some of my favourite days when we're here racing with Extreme.
Well, this is the first time we come here and the first time I hear about the seagrass, and we're going to go out, see some damaged, some healthy ones.
To learn new things, to see what we could do for the environment, to make an awareness for it. It was very interesting.
For the future, we hope to have a very strong message with Extreme.
To know that what Extreme is doing is actually going to make a difference to these local charities and organisations is really important and really special.
With X44 having had that huge crash in semi-final 1,
my favourite noise,
and with the mammoth task of rebuilding their car ahead of the final, championship leaders RXR could smell blood, and the championship crown was closer than ever. They lined up against Abt Cupra and Acciona Sainz, with the top 2 finishers progressing to the main event.
And the green light goes. It's a nice clean start for Sainz. They're following each other down the left-hand lane, so no contact this time. RXR seem to be out in front, and then you've got Abt Cupra. There's a lot of dust, which is really difficult for the following car to see, so Extra having a real battle. By going out wide, Sainz seems to have done a really good job of avoiding all that dust, but it's RXR who lead the way, and Christopherson getting into the first merge point cleanly.
Sainz 1 second behind, Extra 5 seconds behind.
La dirección.
Sainz is slowing.
Sainz has a problem.
Looks like Carlos has a steering issue.
Look at the angle he's having to hold it at. Carlos Sainz has a look of thunder on his face. He's not happy.
With Acciona Sainz dropping back due to a power steering failure, just like they had in quali a day earlier, RXR and Abt Cupra took it easy to ensure they didn't also pick up damage ahead of the final.
Molly, we are 22 ahead, so we can take it easy and just focus on the line.
Go, 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 go. The rear is more than 1 minute. No risk, no risk.
After a great opening lap from Kristoffersen and a clean switch, Molly Taylor brought the car home to move the team one step closer to glory.
A win in semi-final 2 with no issues for RXR. Brilliant drive.
Good job, Molly. Thank you. Good job.
Yeah, we are very happy with that, and after a difficult start yesterday, we made it to the final, so yeah, we'll try to regroup now and do our best in the final.
The team is very happy to be in the final, and for us after, for sure we took it easy to just keep the car in a very good shape for the final, because we have 5 cars and that will be extremely hot, I think.
I think we have quite a decent start, and yeah, after, I don't know, 300 meters I have again the problem with the power steering, so end of the story. I'm a little bit upset because this is coming a little bit too much now.
With RXR and Abt Cupra moving on to the final alongside Segi TV, Chip Ganassi Racing and X44, the 5-car main event was shaping up to be a brilliant battle, with just one more spot still to be filled by the winners of the Crazy Race. Against all odds, after that massive crash only a few hours earlier, a Herculean effort by the X44 engineers, with help from Andretti United who were involved in the accident, the X44 car was going to be ready to battle it out for victory in the final. During the Island X Prix, teams were given the chance to test their cars for the first time since pre-season, and for Spark, the manufacturers of the Odyssey 21, it was a chance to try out some upgraded systems, including the all-important suspension.
So today is a test session for the team, so they can test a new damper setting that we are offering them. They can adjust much more easily and with a wider range of setup. This is off-road, where the damping is doing a lot, and we are giving them also more freedom on the spring setup on the car, so they can have a bit more to play with and hopefully improve the overall performances of their own cars.
90% of the car is the dampers, in my opinion. Especially in this type of tracks and with this type of cars, it's very nice to have the opportunity to improve.
I think it's important that we can keep developing, and as we've chosen tracks that are very different, that we need to have something that's a bit of an all-round job. So we're trying a few things, and yeah, we'll see how they go.
The learnings we have from the day is that we have to try and adapt the springs, the ride heights and the clicking for these new dampers, which are a bit stiffer. Try to keep the car a bit more calm and a bit more controlled, so that when we come on the rough sections, that it will not kick the rear so much.
Yeah, we try a couple of new things. Some things is a little bit better, but at the same time, when you try to develop things, you know, some things will get better and some things at the cost of something else. So yeah, we'll try to adapt that to the best of what we can get.
But it wasn't just new components that were being tested in Sardinia.
Today is the rookie test, where it's giving an opportunity for up-and-coming drivers. We've got drivers who are 19 years old, 21 years old here this weekend, to have an opportunity for the teams to look at the next generation and to sign some people up as reserve drivers for next year. We want to give avenues of opportunity for all these people. It's a great opportunity for the next generation.
Yeah, no, I've never driven an electric car before, so hopping in this and not really having experience was honestly quite the treat. I hadn't done anything else, and to go off the start and having full torque all the time is pretty fun, and being able to hear your team manager on the radio is nice too, nice and quiet in there, but yeah, these cars are a blast to drive.
I've only done rallycross. I'm 21 years of age, and to be here with Carlos Sainz is just amazing. I'm enjoying it super much. This is a new era of motorsport. I'm really happy to be a part of it. This is a perfect day for us rookies to get a grip with the car and see what is the whole Extreme E concept is about.
Championship driver Tamara Molinaro was also there, getting more valuable seat time while testing the car for RXR.
This day helped me to get a lot of confidence coming from rally and rallycross. You know, it's completely different. So for sure, this day has really helped me a lot. And you know, it was amazing to be able to work with so many professional people. So it was for sure a great experience, and I'm really thankful for this.
Well, today was absolutely amazing. It was really fun. I'm happy with my development. For sure the time only got better and better, and the feeling of confidence also increased. So I'm happy. It would be amazing to be a part of Extreme E in the future. This is Yeah, it's a really nice concept, and I like what you do, so hopefully.
I'm hoping you'll see me in Extreme E sometime soon. There's nothing set in stone yet, just driving a little bit today, and hopefully next year I can hop in the seat.
Maybe we'll see some of these new young talents in the driver's seat for Season 2. Next time on the Electric Odyssey, we'll see who makes it to the final from a brutal crazy race.
Oh! Sarrazan's rolled! It's one of the biggest accidents of the season!
We went to the pivotal COP26 climate conference.
It's something that we all need to be involved in, from a governmental to a corporations to consumer level.
And we see who takes the Island X-Prix trophy during another dramatic final showdown.
Time for the final, and the green light goes.